Well, and part of this may come with where I'm working now, but thinking a lot about the challenges that brands are facing in social media in being authentic and also kind of giving up some of that control that they're used to having over, I guess, the communications process and the communications dialogue. That's, I think, been really difficult to say that it's not just messaging out in the same traditional way, which is we're gonna blast these messages out. People are gonna hear those messages, then they're gonna go buy our products and services, right? And so it's really changing now to have a more targeted approach to find customers that your potential customers and to have genuine conversations with them. And that's still hard because I think what we like to call it is for brands to have their social voice, to talk authentically like real human beings is a challenge. And so I think we're seeing more and more of that as we go along, and I think each year South by Southwest can be kind of a barometer as we see more and more brands of how far they've come. But that's been interesting to see that evolution. Sure. I mean, I think so. I think of that as again. Well, let's consider here's an example of authenticity. So I write a blog post, and then someone from Target comes on and says, "Oh, I think that's I disagree with you because of such and such," but they just sign their name as Bill Smith or Bill in Minnesota. Doesn't say he's Bill Smith, the director of such and such at Target, and so. By him saying who he is and who he represents, that's a simple example of authenticity. But again, sometimes it has been difficult for brands to do that. So it's really being authenticity doesn't mean you're giving away all of your company secrets, right? It doesn't mean that, but it really means kind of being upfront about who you are and stating your affiliation and. If you have skin in the game, I guess, around that particular conversation. So it's something that, many brands are still struggling with, and some are certainly better than others, but that's how I would define it, yeah. Yeah, I think about, I heard this example once, someone who does cement mixing, for example, but there was a PR agency that actually did research and found, a whole number of bloggers who blogged about cement, right? And so, and I'm sure there are, funeral directors that are blogging about, their line of work. So I'm not saying that it is for everyone necessarily, but I think there are opportunities if companies think about, how they might be able to find their niche in social media. So. I hate to be wishy-washy and say it depends, but it really does depend. It depends on it really depends on that company's comfort level and their ability, I think, to have these kind of open conversations where they could be criticized, where things could be said about them that they're not comfortable seeing out in the open. So I think that's a real key barometer. But it's not right for everyone. So I wouldn't say you have to do it. I'd say think about what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, where your customers might be, and if it makes sense to do social media there, then okay. It's a lot of baseball stuff. I got to say that because I'm a big Boston Red Sox fan. And so I read a lot of sports stories from, even though I don't live in Boston anymore, reading about that all the time and just kind of getting involved and commenting and getting good hardcore baseball conversations is a good way to spend some time on a day where I don't have so much to do, or maybe I just need a mental break. That's how I do it. Yeah.
Do you have some favorite blogs that you follow?
There's actually one I like to read called Boston Sports Media Watch. It's at bostonsportsmedia.com. And they actually cover more from the media side, but he does a great job of giving all the mainstream media coverage to the teams and also some bloggers as well.